Hi, welcome to Page to the Call. My name is Stephen Dawes, and today I've got a couple of things for you. One about Matheus França, and the other one about the squad size. Roy Hodgson has had a few words to say about both of those things. Before I do though, if you just found this channel for the first time, don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell so you get notifications about new content that I bring out. I also have now channel memberships, which you can find on my channel page, and that gives you special perks if you sign up to be a member. So first of all, it's about Matheus França. Now, unfortunately, it looks like he has an injury. We're not quite sure how severe that injury is. If you know more about this than I do, I have tried to look. I can't see anywhere where it talks about what the injury is. If you know what it is, then do let me know down in the comments. Apparently, Roy has said that he will not be fit for Palace's Premier League opener at Sheffield United on Saturday. He said the young lad from Brazil, who we have very high hopes for, is not going to be available because he has an injury that he's looking after. So, a bit of a disappointment. We're not going to see him on the opening game of the season, but hopefully it won't be severe enough to keep him out for too long. Obviously, Olise is also going to be out the beginning of the season as well with his injuries, so we're going to be a bit thin on the ground in terms of that situation. And Roy Hodgson did actually talk about this when he was being interviewed. He talked about the situation about Olise's future, for example. He said, no one really knows at the moment in time. If there are clubs who are desperately or seriously preparing a bid and tempting him away, then he'll have a decision to make. I can only wait and see if there are any clubs that are going to come in and make those bids and tempt him away. And in that situation, what decision is he going to make? Because he also knows that we are really very keen to keep him here. We really believe he is a good place for him, and that we can provide him with a very good platform to go forward in his career. So Roy Hodgson obviously wants him to stay. I'm sure the board and Steve Parish also want him to stay, but of course at the end of the day it depends on what clubs like Chelsea bid for him, and what happens in terms of how they approach him, what they offer him. Now, there has been talk about him agreeing personal terms with Chelsea already. I don't think that's the case. I think that that's just all bluff and nonsense. I think personally he will stay this season. I don't think we'll lose him in this transfer window, but obviously the more time goes on, things are going to be very different. And if he has another good season this season, then perhaps in January we may well see him being tempted away, which would be a shame, because I think he's a very good player. I think he has time to stay with us and to learn the trade and to develop more. I think that would be good for him. But we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Roy also did talk about the squad size. He said, we are at the moment short in terms of squad size and the support we need to get through the opening games, due partly to injuries to people like Olise and Will Hughes. We are very much aware of what needs to be done. The club is working at it, and I am more than optimistic that by the end of the transfer window, this squad will be bigger and stronger looking squad than it was when we go into the first game. So he seems to be optimistic that we've got irons in the fire, that we've got potential players coming in, which is good to see. Hopefully it's going to happen, and we're going to have more players coming into the game. I know that we've got players like Lewis Hall who could potentially be coming in on loan, things like that. So I'm hopeful that in the last week or so of the transfer window that we're going to get people in. But of course, it all depends. You know what Crystal Palace is like. If we don't, we're not necessarily the type of club that bids huge amounts of money for players. So if another club comes in with a bigger bid, we may well lose them. But let me know down in the comments what you think about the injury to França, and also about the squad size situation in general. Do you think we're going to get any more players in before the end of the season, or do you think that we're going to end up playing probably until January with the current squad size that we have? Let me know down in your comments, and I'll see you next time.